see how some of the players are actually bringing their flavor and their gameplay style to this action here, this tournament, and it's going to be interesting as we move forward. We're going to be getting some pretty talented players coming up next year. We got Mr. E, and I got to find the bracket real quick.
This is Sharp. Sharp has been running the ZSS all day, and honestly, this is one of the matchups we're pretty used to seeing. We've seen this out of Web, VE, and Sharp is, you know, no slouch at all to the ZSS. This is a character that every time I see these two play, this is a ledge trapping game. It's entirely about fighting Mr. E at the ledge, who's a monster at ledge trapping, and then ZSS, who's obviously just a character who's built around tearing people up there.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Sharp definitely has a very, very, I can't think of the word. A very good ZSS is pretty much what I'm getting at. It's very polished. That's what I want to say.
A very sharp
ZSS? Yeah, very sharp ZSS, yeah. And actually, that's actually a good way to also describe his playstyle. It's a very sharp ZSS. He has his own little flair that he kind of comes around with it. One of the problems I think I've seen repeatedly a lot when it comes to Sharp in his ZSS is he likes to go for grabs sometimes a little too much. We might see him force it a little too often. And you need to be on top of your gameplay. Yep, you need to be on top of your gameplay, especially when you're going against someone like Mr. E, who is very consistent, especially with a character like Lucina.
Yeah, he's a whiff punish machine, and the last thing you want to do is give up the one window that you have as ZSS, but you also have other answers. You don't need a grab. You got the paralyzer shot. You got down smash that will close out the first stock.
All right, well, let's see what happens as we get into the rest of this game here. Game one still, 2 stocks apiece, a little bit of damage on both players right now, so no real big advantage for either player quite yet. That's exactly what we want to see in a winner's side of top 8 is these guys go to distance.
Yeah, you have a relatively simple game plan between these two on FD. You have the spacing from short hop fairs and the Zairs coming out of ZSS. That's going to be something you're going to see on flat stages, especially here in FD, considering ZSS hates this stage. There's very few who like to go here. And then Mr. E, he's going to meet you right with it. It's like, all right, if you want to space me, I'm going to space you. But the great equalizer, always in that nair to flip kick. Luckily for Mr. E, did not get hit by the spike hitbox.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta you know, have a little bit of a sigh of relief there, especially like you said, if you're Mr. E, because that thing, like, what was it? I just did a tournament like the other day, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen a flip kick spike. So I mean, Mr. E definitely kind of living by the skin of his teeth. Ooh, almost getting that down smash surely would have ended Sharp's second stock.
Yeah, there are a few times, there's a few different things about fighting ZSS. In center stage, your kill percent is around 100 plus. And on the ledge, you're likely to die at 10. But that Dolphin Slash is going to answer the like heavy jump pressure that Sharp is trying to put, which is we're going to see a lot of. The grabs have already been stuffed out a bunch, so you already see like he's trying to stay airborne, and now Mr. E is meeting him right there.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Sharp can find a way to turn this around. Okay, there you go. We're going to get the boost kick. Absolutely going to take that second stock. Getting into a final stock situation here, only 44% is going to be separating these two players, which honestly, especially with a character like ZSS, isn't that much. However, we do need Sharp to kind of dial back the aggression here just a little bit. ZSS has the tools to be patient, and you kind of need that, especially when you're going against Mr. E with the lead.
Yeah, I actually like what Sharp is starting to do. He tried really hard to get that up smash, which would have given him that 40% you're talking about, up smash combos for some reason. And then immediately after that, it's like, okay, that didn't work. Let me go ahead and go more passive. Went for a back throw into Zaire to beat the jump. Right now, he's getting spaced again, though. And I think a big part of that is because of FD with Lucina. There's no platforms to hide on. But oh, that was so close to once again being a KO. But again, Sharp just keeps missing that spike hitbox on that flip kick.
Yeah. Oh, and they're going to be living. Okay. Dangerous spot to be in. All right, we'll find our way back to stage. But yeah, that's certainly got to be a little frustrating when twice in a row you're not going to be able to get that spike hitbox, but almost finding that down smash, almost got the stun on it. Oh
my God. And having 2 to 3 different situations where you had the right call and you just missed the frames by like a second. That gets in your head. But it's still Sharp. Sharp is very good at making comebacks. However, against Mr. E, you give him a lead like that, it makes it easier for him to camp on you as the game goes. Right there, another whiff grab. Like, obviously, you got to go for those, but just the amount of times early on that Mr. E said, no grab for you, just made it so much harder for, like, any type of grounded pressure from Sharp.
I expect to see a nice little, adaptation going in this game, too. That one wasn't too bad, and, like, it's crazy because that game could have been entirely different, and the factor of that is mere frames. Like, 1 or 2 frames is the difference of a Sharp victory in this game 1. So these guys are absolutely bringing out, some of their best gameplay. It's just a matter of getting consistent, making sure you're landing those hits, and we could see a turnaround here. But we're going to get into this game 2. Again, Mr. E taking that game 1 up 1-0. Let's see what the counter pick is.
Yeah, my view, I think FD needs to go if I'm Sharp, but we'll see if Sharp decided to run it back there. Going to decide to stay there too. Me personally, I think that this is not necessarily the best idea in this matchup, but I get what he's trying to do. He understands that Mr. E is going to play passive. He's going to camp. He's not going to give you a lead for free. So what do you do instead? All right, I'm going to meet you with Zares. I'm going to meet you with short hop pressure, except the problem is Sharp hasn't been able to really find it consistently. It's even so far, but if he could get that consistent pressure from far range and maybe find those kills at the ledge he's been looking for, this could go a different way.
For sure, for sure. All right, well, let's see. Right now, it's relatively even. I know the percentages say Mr. E, but, like, again, we've seen what Sharp can do at this percentage, especially when he starts going for those flip kick spikes. Barely missing them before, but it's only a matter of time until he gets that spike to be able to really take out a stock here. Great pressure. Unfortunately, not going to find that down smash. See how Mr. E responds. Does have a little bit of stage control. Oh, no! And there it goes, man. Sharp taking a strong lead here.
And here we go, getting a nice off the start. 127, that's Dolphin Slash out of shield range, so if I'm Sharp, I make sure I'm spacing well, using stuff like that short hop fair while staying far enough away that if you do get whiff punish on that off shield, most likely you're not going to get hit by the hard part of Dolphin Slash that'll knock you out.
All right, let's see. Sharp gonna keep this stock alive right now. Mr. E is certainly struggling here just a little bit, but the up tilt will be enough. ZSS gonna fly to the back. 47% of the second stock. It's a decent amount of extra credit, but it's a matter of can Sharp stay consistent? Keep this aggression on. I mean, right now, the game plan seems to be working out here. There we go. Good little... Oh, okay. Good stuff, actually. Not going for the boost kick. Saving that for later to make sure he can really get that kill.
Agreed. It's a low enough percent, and it's also a very low amount of down smash charge, so that could have been something that Mr. E probably just would have gotten knocked away, but it would have allowed him to make it back because the recovery frames on the boost kick probably would have got himself back on the stage pretty quick.
Right. Here we go. Oh, there you go. Nice little side B. Gonna find a way to snuff out that second stock. Mr. E's air dodge gonna bring him to certain death. And Sharp just continuing to put on this pressure. This is looking a lot different than game one, man. Game one was really close, came down to the wire, but game two is really all about the Sharp show.
Yeah, it's entirely now. Sharp is playing with the lead, and it seems like Sharp has kind of figured out a bit of the pattern on when Mr. E is short hopping. Because obviously the two neutral options you're going to see the most out of Mr. E here, short hop fair, short hop nair, or just being aerial, and then run up with like down tilt. Those are the two main tools that Mr. E is going to use on approach, and it seems like Sharp is finally starting to catch on it.
Yep. All right. Ooh, a little scary there. Just both players holding shield. You never know what's going to happen sometimes, especially when you got a Lucina on the other side there. You know, that shield breaker can come out so quick and just put Sharp in such a bad spot. But he continues. Look at this run he's making on this final stock here, man. Mr. E is in trouble. The side B got to send him off stage. What will Sharp find?
Oh my goodness, the coverage from Sharp there. There's still no jump available, by the way. Yeah, you have to early... Oh, gets the tech, though. Mr. E could have been dead, but gets covered at the ledge anyways. The amount of active frames on that up smash is so good for covering neutral get up. And even if Sharp went down there, you still had a whole nother stock to play with. Great game two coming in from Sharp.
Man, what a run from Sharp there, man. Just... absolutely turning this set around after that game one. Again, game one was close. I was expecting another close game two, and it's not like it was awful. Like, Mr. E played pretty strong, but Sharp just turned it up to a whole nother level. We have to see a strong response going into game three, or Mr. E just, again, might just be in trouble as we move forward into the set.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do, again, with, I think Mr. E, as the match progressed, got a little bit predictable when he was constantly short hopping. And that's why you saw in the last stock he was going a lot more for run up down tilt, because like, okay, I'm getting beat by short hop Zair, short hop fair, and this is something that I thought was going to be an issue for Sharp being on FD. I thought he was going to get kind of pushed into the corner for free, a little bit too easy. But as that match went on, it's like, I don't need the platforms to keep the pressure up. I can keep this up, and Mr. E hasn't found an answer to it yet.
Right. Well, we'll certainly see how things start to develop as we get into this game three here. So there's no DSR, so they could definitely run it back to Final Destination. Do you think they're going to run Final FD the entire way through, or do you think they'll switch it up a bit?
I think this delay is telling the story. And now, here we go. They're going ahead and they're moving it up. I think Mr. E have figured out there, okay, my idea didn't work. Probably Town and City. You get the flat stage, but also you get a little bit of pressure, and you can hide up on the sides while getting that early KO power for Lucina. ZSS is going to kill you early no matter what. It doesn't matter what stage you're on. She doesn't really have a bad stage overall, other than FD, which... you know, Sharp made you look a little bit bad on in game two, so I think something like Town and City makes a lot of sense here.
Right. Well, and we're going to go into PS2. I mean, it's pretty much the other neutral stage. So we'll definitely see how it kind of works out here. Mr. E, I think this is a good pick for him. There's a lot of room here. These platforms can definitely set up a lot of not just problems that he had landing, but also just potentially, you know, covering more space, creating more issues for Sharp. But Sharp, just look at this on a roll right now, 74%.
I mean, hey, look, I think the a lot of room here thing is a big deal because you saw right after that, Mr. E was getting pressured in the corner, lost neutral like 3 times, said, okay, I'm going to reset. And I think that might be why we're here on PS2, because he gets the room to run away if things are getting bad, and then he could slowly push Sharp into a corner, who he hasn't been able to do a single thing on. Hashtag ZSS sucks. That I'll be ended up missing there. But hey,
come on, man, we don't need that agenda out here.
I am not a pusher of that propaganda, but when I see something like that, I gotta drop it. And there's that surprise shield breaker, and that is a dead Sharp.
Well, let's talk about some propaganda, man. Lucina's too damn good. This character is basically just straight fundamentals. You got the good fundamentals, you're going to have a good Lucina most likely. And Mr. E definitely among the best, making that work right there, taking a nice strong lead. And I do want to point out that we talked about more space. It does allow Mr. E to kind of back out when he really needs it. But the problem with that, all right, gonna live, is that Sharp also has those capabilities because of the way that ZSS works, man. That flip kick can get you out of so much trouble, and because of so much space there is, you're able to just reset neutral yourself. So it's really just kind of a who can reset neutral and take advantage after the reset.
Agreed. That's why I said at the very start, I get the idea why he went here, but ZSS doesn't really have a bad stage, right? Like, even though ZSS can get maybe, you know, back into a corner with the like slow walks and the slow pressure from Mr. E, ZSS is a great zone breaker, which he wants to be, and it's so easy for him to get in. So far though, it's looking a lot better for Mr. E. You do not want to be stuck against the ledge here, especially against him, because you're going to get rinsed, repeated, forced off stage. Simplicity is key, is the king factor of this character, and you got to make sure that you just keep Mr. E away from you.
Yeah, dude, we saw that attempt at a grab once again. It just kind of continued the pressure from Mr. E. Okay, but there we go. Sharp on the board here. Not going to find the way to take out that stock. A lucky break for Mr. E. Sharp's usually pretty on point with those.
Yeah, look, you do not want to be facing Sharp off stage, let alone with ZSS, because if you get caught on one mistake jump, that 20% could be death. Same thing as that near flip kick we saw before. And even right now, 119 to 64, I think this game is very even, just because of the fact that that surprise burst power of ZSS is there, and you see Mr. E playing accordingly because of it.
Right. But here we go, man. 142, gonna be a tough spot there. Okay, just gonna flip kick out, say, oh, how about none of that pressure, especially the way that we just had a shield right not too long ago. But the drag, not the drag down, but the nair one into the up tilt.
That was
able to close out that stock.
That was a hard roll read right there. Excuse me, not even a roll read, just a runaway. Single hit nair into the up tilt. Knew for a fact Sharp was gonna try and cover him off stage. But you have no jump. Yeah, you are done. The moment that jump got smacked away by an F tilt, there was not much you could do unless Sharp made a mistake.
And yeah, Sharp, again, is not going to make too many mistakes here, so you got to really make sure that you're on top of your stuff. So I'm not surprised to see that stock disappear after that one trade off stage, but what matters is getting into this final stock here. 43%, again, not really that big of a deal, especially for a character like ZSS. There's 4 minutes on the clock, 4.5 minutes. That's plenty of time to find a way to just poke your way back into this matchup. But right now, man, again, the problem with poking is that Mr. E is doing more of it right now.
You know when Mr. E is getting confident when you start seeing stuff like F smash as an out of shield option in center stage, because that's not going to kill, but he's so confident in the fact that you're going to make a mistake, he hard punishes you that bad for it. And right now, he's getting caught. Oh, down tilt into down smash is such a good tech chase option. And right now, 135%, nair at ledge, forward throw him off stage. Yep, actually, good mash out. But you got to watch out for that nair again, and you see Sharp accordingly, playing patient at ledge, but that dolphin slash is going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he held shield, he was just waiting for Sharp to try and land on him, and Sharp gonna try and go for that nair, man. Definitely trying to find a way to claw their way back into this set. But unfortunately, gonna drop it right there. Dolphin slash, like you said, gonna clean it up. We'll have to see what the counter pick is. Right now, it's been back and forth. Oh, man, that shield breaker was huge, though.
That was so smart. That was a runaway, immediate B reverse on ground to neutral B. Like, he did not waste a single second getting shield breaker out there because he knew Sharp had a very big habit of jumping in and immediately shielding afterwards. Because obviously, you last thing you want to do is get hit by the ground and up tilt and get comboed. So to have a full punish answer like that and then keep the pressure up as the game went along, that was really good adjustment that we're really used to seeing out of Mr. E.
Right. Okay. Ooh. All right, nice little clip right there. Yeah, that was really nice actually. After you got that first jump out of the way and just went out and cleaned it up, it was just good gameplay from Sharp.
Yeah, game sense is so important in this. Like with these two players, both of them, not even just one, you cannot let a punish window get out, like, go away. You have to capitalize, otherwise you're gonna regret it, because neutral game wins are one thing, but punishes are so much more important.
All right, well, here we go. Town and City. This is the stage you thought they were going to go on for game 3, but it's going to end up being Sharp's counter pick, so we'll definitely see how he's able to make everything work here. I mean, he did look pretty strong on FD, so we do get a little bit of FD here, but also those platforms to help extend some of these combos. And ZSS can get the up airs onto these platforms, you know, get a little bit of that Mario combo going, or a little bit of reminiscent of that Smash 4 ZSS. We'll definitely see if they're able to find that, though.
Yeah, 100%. Anytime. Oh, speaking of which, there's a platform available, and that grab could have spelled so many problems for Mr. E, but luckily only got away with just a whiff and getting the back air. I honestly, I've been so surprised with the fact that Sharp has pretty much been the one to say, I have better fundamentals than you, so even though ZSS doesn't necessarily like the flat stages, I'm just going to outplay you on it.
Oh, okay, there we go. Nice little up tilt. Oh, gotta find a way to close out that stock. Mr. E on point here after a strong start from Sharp. Mr. E just bringing it back, finding that forward smash, closing out that first stock. Sharp's got to find something here, man. Because, like, after that game 2, I was like, all right, man, Sharp's going to continue up this pressure, just keep things going. But Mr. E's responded greatly.
Yeah, look, I know we're in the center of the city, but prepare to go to the woods, because right now, Mr. E with a stock lead like this is going to set up the campfire. He does not want to engage with Sharp at the ledge whatsoever. You see him hanging out in center stage, trying to force Sharp to come in. Because why I approach to the lead? Because that's exactly what happens.
And unfortunately, you know, Sharp's going to find his way, man. He's stubborn enough to just not give up on a play. Like, if he feels like he can find a way in on your defense, if he thinks that there's a hole that he can exploit, he's going for it, man. And you got to make sure, like, you got to be pinpoint. You can't slack off against Sharp.
Yeah, and you can see Mr. E as well also had, you know, through and through matchup recognition, immediately held up on shield to avoid getting shield poked by Fair. He knows that Sharp is going for double Zair into Fair quite often, and you saw even right there, F tilt into immediate response of thinking it would be a Fair, because what are you going to get poked by underneath? Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, okay. Getting a little bit nervous here. Okay, there we go, man. Mr. E just continues to build up this lead slowly but surely. It's like it's not even doing any like heavy combos. That's the crazy thing, man. He's got no problem just hitting you, resetting the neutral. I mean, Lucina's got that capability to just hit you once or twice and then go right back, because she's got these huge, quick disjoints that just continue to pile up damage slowly as the game goes on.
Exactly. I guess, you know, we said it before, simplicity really is key with this character. It's all about the single hit. She's got plenty of knockback, like back air out of shield. You don't need to do anything special, especially against a character who thrives on people doing way too much like ZSS.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. See, like, ZSS does way too much sometimes, but, like, if you overextend on her at all, like, it's lights out sometimes for you. Mr. E, I think, is definitely very aware of that. I think it plays a lot against Web JP sometimes, who I think is also roughly in the same area. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how Mr. E continues to find a way to try and close this out. He's up 2-1 at the moment. You don't have to do anything crazy, or you're going to get caught up by that boost kick. I feel like he probably could have DI'd that better.
I think that might have been a blessing of Town and City. I was just thinking the same thing, but he DI'd as best as he could towards the corner, but he went really upwards. So I think he might have gotten caught and mixed up. And now we got a second chance for Sharp here. 70% to 21. This is not very hard of a deficit whatsoever to make a run back on.
Right. All right, let's see where things... Oh, this is huge! Okay, you know what? That was smart. Not opting to go for another aerial, instead just kind of fading back to the stage, trying to get some stage control, try to create a ledge trap scenario. Look at this. This is getting very dangerous, man. Mr. E was in control for so long, but Sharp is pulling it away.
Oh my god, yeah, Sharp is really picking it up. You know, Mr. E made the right guess twice. Oh, knowing damage recognition. Like, okay, if I go into center stage, I'm not going to die. But if I make a few more mistakes, I'm done for. But that back air is going to delete the pressure that Sharp had. If Sharp can't get it back, like, Sharp was getting ready to get it to game 5, but now it's getting that much closer to Mr. E taking a set. I think what Sharp needs to be careful of here is not going for the grab unless he's catching Mr. E on the fall. But no, the Nair is going to find a way to close that out. Mr. E is going to take this 3-1. Looking sharp himself, to be honest, as he moves on to winners finals, where he will await the winner of the next match we'll have up here, DM versus Leon. But first, before we get there, what do you think about this match here? What do you think Sharp could have done a little bit better? So I think Sharp did an excellent job at the end there of holding on to flip kick from ledge, because there was a lot of times where you saw Sharp was just waiting, maybe jumped, maybe rolled from ledge, didn't really do a lot of the early flip kick because it's going to get covered by Nair. I truly think that Sharp was thinking, okay, Mr. E's not going to cover this because I haven't done it any other time, and he got punished. But a lot of the spacing, the Zairs, the short hop fair game, mostly that spacing with the Zair in particular, was so good against Mr. E in situations just like that. You saw 3 Zairs there, I believe it was 3, that led to that KO. It worked on FD, but I think Mr. E just figured out at the end game, Sharp is a little bit too quick to press a button at a disadvantage sometimes, and I'm going to cover it every time, and he was able to just capitalize on W a little bit before him.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely see if Sharp's able to make that run back. I mean, Sharp is no strangers to making runs in Luge's bracket, and it looks like he's currently awaiting on the winner of Tokyo versus Duffy.